Economic globalization refers to the widespread international movement of goods, capital, services, technology, and information. It is the increasing economic integration and interdependence of national, regional, and local economies across the world through an intensification of cross-border movement of goods, services, technologies, and capital. Economic globalization primarily comprises the globalization of production, finance, market, technology, organizational regimes, institution, corporations, and people. If technological advancement and its development were assumed as a technological driving force for economic globalization, then the market-oriented reform carried out through the world should be regarded as the institutional driving force under the framework of GATT and WTO. Many countries have gradually cut down the tariff and non-tariff barriers. More and more countries open up their current accounts and capital accounts. For example, the Canada-Korea Free Trade Agreement is a free trade agreement between Canada and South Korea. Upon full implementation, Canada will eliminate 97.8% of its tariff lines for goods imported from South Korea, and South Korea will eliminate 98.2% of its tariff lines for goods imported from Canada. So let's talk about what is tariff. So tariff is the required fees of import or export of goods from different countries. For example, the importation of candy from country A to country B. So the original cost of the candy of country A is 1 peso, but because of its tariff of 5 pesos, the average cost of the candy to country B will be 6 pesos. But because of its free trade agreement, the original cost of the candy will be 1 peso. Let's know first about the two types of economies. First, protectionism, which is protecting one's economy from foreign competition by creating trade barriers. Second, trade liberalization, reducing trade barriers to make international trade easier between countries. So the Philippine country belonged to trade liberalization because of its free trade agreement into different countries. By this situation, the Bretton Woods Conference support the expansion of international trade, discourage protectionism, and prevent conflicts that may lead to another world war. In general, globalization decreases the cost of manufacturing. This means that companies can offer goods at a lower price to consumers. The average cost of goods is a by aspect that contribute to increase in the standard of living. Consumers also have access to a wide variety of goods. So, has globalization gone too far or has it been heading in the wrong direction? So, globalization is exposing social fissures between those with the education, skills, and mobility to flourish in an unfettered world market. The apparent winners and those without. These apparent losers are increasingly anxious about their standards of living and their precarious place in an integral world economy. Has globalization gone too far takes an unblinking and objective look at the benefits and risks of international economic integration and criticizes mainstream economies for downplaying its dangers. It also makes an unique a persuasive case that the winners have as much at stable from the possible consequences of social instability as the losers. What is globalization in connection in today's pandemic? In the light of the global pandemic COVID-19 caused economic recession worldwide on top of great number of lives lost to the virus of coverage of the risk of globalization. This unprecedented time of COVID-19 and the implemented lockdown measures have influenced uncertainties regarding economic growth. The lockdown measures have also increased telework and telecommuting, canceled operations, and restricted supply and demand. How did you cope up with the negative experiences you encountered about globalization? To cope up with the negative experiences, everyone must provide better education, apprenticeships, career training, and less rigid labor markets. Policymakers in developed economies can help their societies to adapt the pressure of globalization and technological advance. As As a global citizen and as a student, what are your ways to protect the practical challenges and constraints in responding to the global moral duties? So, as a student, I have only three ways to protect the practical challenges in responding to the global moral duties. First, we need to prioritize people centered growth. This requires a wide range of structural policies from social protection and active labor, market policies to strategic investment in education skills, and innovation in physical infrastructure. Second, we need to fight the dark side of globalization and restore trust in global economies and global integration. The proliferation of high-level corruption, tax evasion, and tax avoidance scandals take their toll. Lastly, third, we need to make trade and investment work for all. Activist protectionism. We must keep building more inclusive global value chains. The goal of globalization is to boost economies around the world by making markets more efficient. The hope is that increased global trade will lead to more equality. Those who are in favor also claim that trade across borders will help limit conflicts.